Yes, my Between the Liners, welcome back to the Between the Lines podcast. Welcome to the match reaction for Manchester United 0, Manchester City 3. And as a United fan right now, it honestly just feels disheartening. We didn't come anywhere near that City side, even though they were in, first, second gear throughout the whole game. Bernardo Silva has got man in the match in that game. I don't even think he broke a sweat. We made him look way better. He's a very good player, but we made him look in this game way better than he actually needed to perform. He was walking through our whole midfield, our whole defence without anyone putting a challenge in. He's going to the byline, underlapping his winger, getting a cutback in with no challenge. McTominay's behind him with his arms like that the whole time, about 5-7 yards away. How are you going to block the cross? Yeah, anyway, look. Very disheartening game, very tough time to be a Man United fan right now. I think the blame lies on three of them at least are very crucial, important figures to this team, but 4 people are at fault for the cost of this game in my opinion. Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay, and therefore ultimately Eric Ten Hag is also a big portion of the blame has to lie with Eric Ten Hag in this game. And you guys know I'm always so optimistic. I always try to see the best in people and the players of Manchester United, and especially Ten Hag. I really rate him as a manager. I really respect his career and what he's done. Everywhere he's gone, he's improved. But looking at this game specifically, he has to take a big part of the blame. Before the game, let's get into it, because before the game, I saw the starting lineup. And as soon as I saw that defence didn't fill me with any confidence. Rafa Varane is made out of something brittle like spaghetti or whatever. I don't even know. Rafa Varane, what's the phrase? I can't remember. Anyway, Varane's injured again or can't play more than one game in a week, so he's out. We've got 35-year-old, 36-year-old Johnny Evans at the back with Maguire, Lindelof at the back. I said to the guys in a group chat, as soon as I saw that team sheet, we're going to lose 3-1 or 4-1. We've ended up losing the game 3-0, and I guess I wasn't too wrong. I wasn't too far off. With that back four, you cannot expect to compete against a Manchester City team who practically took the piss out of us for 45 minutes of that game at least. The rest of the starting lineup, McTominay starting again, and I don't understand. How does he keep getting minutes? And in this game, did he play 90 minutes? That's a joke. I don't understand what Ten Hag was seeing. I'm going to get to the Amrabat substitution in a bit as well, but McTominay started again. No one knows why. Just purely off the fact that he's been a threat in the opposition's box in the recent games. And to be honest, look, speaking in hindsight now is easier, but before the game, I saw the 4-4-2. I thought it was going to be a 4-4-2 diamond situation because we didn't really have any wingers except for Rashford or any left forwards or whatever you want to call him. So I thought maybe he's going for a 4-4-2 diamond. He's trying to pack out the middle and he's trying to play Rashford and Højlund to try and release him on a counter. And I saw the vision and I kind of warmed to it the sooner that we got to kick off. And obviously, you get a bit gassed once you get towards kickoff. And I thought we might have done something. We might have overpacked the middle and tried to stop them playing football. In the end, it hasn't really worked out like that. Look, let's get into the rest of the game and what I thought of the game, the positives and negatives. I'm going to start with the negatives because we've lost 3-0. It's hard to see the positives right now. But I'm a very subjective person and rational, I'd like to think. So there are some positives which I'll get into, but we'll take it into the negatives first. Speaking of the first half first, once obviously the beginning we started all right, the first goal we conceded, the penalty, Højlund, in my opinion, I don't see how it's a penalty, to be honest with you. And I feel sorry for the kid. It's his first Manchester derby. He's, 20 years old. He's put his hand on Rodri, and Rodri's made a massive meal out of it and conned the refs and bought a penalty. In real time, when you see that, that's not enough contact to win a penalty. Even in slow motion, the angles that they were showing the ref was pathetic and so, agenda-based towards giving a penalty. Like, the VAR team, whoever was behind there, I think they said... who is it? One of the main guys, Michael Oliver, was supposedly in the VAR team. He was itching for the referee to give a penalty. I don't understand. Even the angle we saw after the penalty was scored, we saw with the Sky broadcasting team, the angle that we saw, Gary Neville kept saying it was off. That is not a penalty in any day of football, any time. In any game, any level, that's not a penalty. Because in real time, he's just put his arm across him. He's not dragged him back. He's not pulled his shirt. Rodri's just fallen over and tripped over his own legs. That's not a penalty. So from there, you go down to 1-0 to this Man City team, you're going to be in trouble. And honestly, in that first half, I thought, when we started off well, we were keeping possession well. But Onana was at fault for a lot of the times we were giving the ball away in the first half. Or some of his passes were really aimless. He weren't trying to pick out a teammate. And he looked really shaky. Some of the saves and crosses that were coming in, he was parrying it out to the opposition players. Get it out for a corner or something. And even some of the saves he was making, when they go wide, the shot's going wide, why is he putting it out for a corner? You don't know your goalposts. You don't know the size of your goal. You're meant to be a top experienced keeper. And also some of the passes where he weren't giving it away and he was finding his defenders or midfielders, the weight of the pass was wrong, or the angle of the pass was wrong because he's putting it behind them. So then they're in an unfortunate position when they're collecting it. They don't know how to get rid of it or who to find next because the pass that they've received wasn't good enough. And that's what I saw from Onana in the first half. And fair play to him, he made some good saves in that game, to be honest. And the second half, I thought he was a lot better. But first half, we gave the ball away way too much. Rashford was non-existent in the first half. Doesn't put, even in the second half, to be honest, didn't put any challenges in. Wasn't any fight, any desire, goes up for a header like this and doesn't even try winning the ball. I don't understand what's the point even being there. You're down to 10 men when Marcus is in this kind of form. The same goes for Scott McTominay. How the hell he lasted 90 minutes in that game. Rashford, how he got 80 minutes in that game. Bruno Fernandes, how he lasted on that pitch for 90 minutes was a joke. But let me get on to one at a time. Scott McTominay had quite a few good chances in the first half, to be honest. He made a bit of a nuisance around the opposition's box, in the Man City box somehow. He made some good runs, I'm not going to lie, in that, especially in the first 20-30 minutes. And he had the shot at the end of the first half. Fair play to him. But his job as a centre midfielder, where was he? He didn't do anything. I didn't see him do anything, to be honest. And then the substitution at half time, Amrabat for Mount, yeah? If you take off Amrabat, that means McTominay is going into holding, or you're putting Eriksen into holding. Eriksen cannot play the holding role, especially against Man City. And that's not a criticism of Eriksen. He's just not that type of player. McTominay can't play the holding role either. And the game bypasses him throughout the midfield, doesn't track his runners, doesn't put any blocks in, doesn't win any headers. What's the point playing McTominay there? And I get it. Maybe Ten Hag was thinking, Amrabat's on your yellow. I can't afford to lose a player. Tell Amrabat to calm down, because he's a better holding midfielder. He's a better midfielder and a better defensively minded midfielder than McTominay and Eriksen. Taking him off, look, in that first half, you saw Alvarez so quiet. We didn't see a peep out of Alvarez or Haaland, really. Amrabat was screening that midfield, that defence, our defence, really well throughout the whole game from one side to another. And a criticism of Amrabat in that first half, I thought he was giving away possession too much as well. But in terms of his defensive work, he was doing the job that was required, getting into the City players' faces, wasn't giving them time. Even if he was giving away silly fouls, at least he was getting in there. McTominay doesn't do that. Eriksen doesn't do that. So in the second half, you're left completely exposed. And I didn't understand the decision from Ten Hag. So as you can see, some of the decisions stem from Ten Hag. Also, yeah, Onana handling, I've already mentioned. Lindelof is so bad on the ball, but I guess we know that anyway. When he's at left back, especially against this City team, I thought he got ripped apart by Foden most of the time. And in possession, anytime Onana passed it to him, anytime Evans or Maguire passed it to him, he kept giving the ball away, didn't know how to find a pass down the line, didn't know how to find a pass down the middle. And Lindelof's actually decent on the ball. But obviously, clearly, playing at left back could severely impact his mentality or composure to even be able to play any kind of football. And obviously, City team are pressing very high. Look, second half, we'll take it on to the second half. 2-0 Haaland was at the header at the back post, and stems from McTominay again, not tracking Bernardo Silva. And he's half-heartedly tried to track him. Then he's done that thing again. He puts his arm behind his back because he doesn't want to give a handball away. But you're nowhere near the ball. Even if his arms were out, he's not even touching that ball because he's nowhere near Bernardo Silva. He's not tracking the run with enough urgency. It's not it's lazy, to be honest, to put it bluntly. It's lazy. And then Haaland's got the head at the back post. Onana's dived past it somehow. I'm not going to blame him for that because it's very difficult. And he did that similarly in the first half and made a good save. So I can't criticise Onana too much on that. Look, second half, Amrabat was the wrong side in my opinion. McTominay game drifted past him the whole second half. I didn't see him do anything. Bruno was absolutely poor, as I've mentioned already, in that second half. This is what I'm saying. Can he be relied on as our captain in these big games? How many times are we going to say it? And why is he kept on the pitch for the whole 90 minutes? Surely Ten Hag must be able to see that Bruno's head is completely gone and he's trying to foul people. And you know what? Rest in peace, Sir Bobby Charlton. This is our first Premier League game since the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton. He would not allow Bruno Fernandes to behave like that in that game. I'm sure he would be saying something to him after that game in the dressing room to say your attitude as a Manchester United player is not good enough. Where's the professionalism? Just because you're losing 3-0 or 2-0 in the derby at the point it was, you don't start hacking your opposition players. Have some class about you. You're Manchester United captain. And if you start losing your head, what do you expect the rest of your teammates to do? And honestly, and whenever he got the ball, I know he's playing out of position, but even in his position, whenever he was on the ball, he gave the ball away. Whenever he's to be fair, I thought he was pressing well in the first half, but defensively, was he tracking his man back? I didn't really watch closely enough, so I can't really say for sure. But he looked like he put in a lot of runs, to be honest. He pressed a lot, so I don't want to criticise him on that. But in possession especially, what did my man provide today? And you guys know I love Bruno Fernandes more than most, but what did he provide today? Rashford, oh my word. I try to back these guys all the time and they're letting me down, they're embarrassing me. Rashford was I don't even want to say it because Roy Keane said these players, he felt sorry for them because they're a class below Man City players. And he said it was almost embarrassing. He didn't quite say it was embarrassing in his post-match punditry. I want to be of the same ilk as Roy Keane. If he thinks it's not embarrassing, I'm going to stay to that. So I don't want to use words like that because it's quite damning. And I love these players, let's be real. But that performance from Bruno and Rashford, especially in the second half, what were you guys on? Like, were you trying to win the game or were you just trying to cost us the game? I didn't see Rashford do anything. Anytime he got in the ball, he's had the same low confidence he's had the last few games. So in that case, Ten Hag, take him off. How are you bringing on Garnacho in the 70th minute, 73rd minute when we're 2-3-0 down already? What do you expect him to do? And when he comes on, you can see the positive attitude Garnacho comes with. Even though we're down and out, he's the one that's trying to get us back into the game. But what's the point keeping Rashford on for that long? You don't want to upset him. Like, fair enough, I get you trying to play him into form, but it's not working. Take him off. He could have very easily come off at half-time. And the decision to bring Højlund off, maybe you're saving him for the Carabao Cup game or the long term. You don't want to run him out and burn him out. I understand. But you can see the crowd's frustration. The crowd's booing. Every time Højlund's been substituted off, the crowd's booed that decision. And it's not because of Højlund. And I don't think it's either because of the player that's coming on. I think it's the fact that the crowd can see Rashford should be coming off at that point. It shouldn't be Højlund. If you want to win the game, it should have been Rashford and Bruno and McTominay and potentially Lindelof. And Ten Hag, like the last few games, if you're constantly having to make a substitution at half-time, that means you're constantly making the wrong decision or wrong starting lineup on a weekly basis. And obviously, that's not all him because the players are also letting him down. The players that he's picked have let him down. But if you're constantly picking the same players and you keep having to make substitutions at half-time or within the second half, then clearly something you're doing is going wrong as well. You're making the wrong decision in the first place. Starting Rashford and Bruno on a regular basis when they're not playing well, is that the right decision? I've said try to play them into form, but it's clear that's not really working. So you've given them that chance. You've given them more than enough chance, more than many other managers would have. And you're usually a very strict disciplinarian. But at the moment, with certain star names, you're not really doing that. Yeah, so that's pretty much most of the negatives. And if I was to talk about positives, there's not going to be many. We've got humiliated against this City team. They're so far ahead of us. And I hate saying that. I can't believe it. But I thought in the first, 10, 15 minutes, we were really good in possession on the ball. That was one of our best 10, 15 minute spells of the whole season, by the way. Because in certain other games that we've won, we've not even played that well. And we weren't amazing, don't get me wrong. We were average or decent at best in the first 15 minutes, but we kept the ball well. We were making the right decisions. When the pass needed to go out wide, it was going out wide. When it was needed to come into the middle, it was coming to the middle. When they needed to hold on to it, they were holding on to it and letting their teammates come up with them. And I thought that was really good game management. And obviously, once a penalty went against us, things just completely went the other way. You know, these players, they start mentally collapsing. Physically, I thought they put in a good shift in the first half. At least tried to compete. Second half, non-existent. No challenges, no duels, no battles, no winning of first challenges, no winning of second challenges. I thought Bruno was pressing pretty well in the first half, especially on Guardiola, because it was clear that he was a weak point at the back. So I thought whenever Bruno he was at the trigger point. If Guardiola got in the ball, Bruno should be pressing him and trying to win the ball back. We made a few chances like that. I think Højlund is another standout performer for United. I know he didn't have an amazing game, but out of the players that we had, he was probably the one shining light, along with Garnacho and a few of Onana's saves. Højlund gives his all 1,000%. You see him pressing down. You see his pace on the ball. Unfortunately, he couldn't get a shot away when I think Foden passed it back, and then he's tried to capitalise on it. His pace is scary. Just that final touch away from getting a shot away, and he probably should have gone down from Edison's foot. Edison stuck a leg out. If Højlund was a bit more smarter, he would have realised that he had the opportunity to go down, and a lot of the elite level strikers do that. So anyway, I've got a lot of faith in Højlund. I'm 100% sure he's going to come good. He's going to become an unbelievable number 9 for Manchester United. Him and Garnacho are on the brink of eliteness, in my opinion. The mentality and the drive and the ability that they play with, they're on the brink of eliteness, and I'm so sure of it. Other than that, I thought like in the first half, we kept Alvarez really quiet. We dealt with a lot of their corners really well, which is pretty impressive, because usually we're really bad at defending set pieces and we're really bad at even attacking set pieces, to be honest. But I think they had like 8 corners in the first half and we kept all of them quiet. I'm really interested to see what Ten Hag says in a post-match conference, because I honestly think, look, moving it away from the positives, it ended up being quite negative, to be honest. Let's take it on to a match roundup. I honestly think Ten Hag has to take a lot of the blame today. Some of the starting lineup potentially, and I get it. We've got a lot of players out. We've got a lot of players injured. No Casemiro as well. Still no Luke Shaw, Martinez, Varane's half fit, half unfit. Who knows? But some of the decisions within that game were wrong. Taking Amrabat off was a wrong decision. If it's an injury, then fair enough, I get it. But taking Amrabat off in that game was a wrong decision. Playing 4 centre mids, 4 attacking midfielders, whatever they were, just didn't make sense. We couldn't get near them. If anything, Anthony, and I haven't rated Anthony for a while. Like, he's not been playing great, but for ball retention and balance in this game, you probably need him, and he would have put in a good shift when he against Guardiola. He would have gone up and down, and he would have worked hard against Grealish as well. You know that's what you're going to get from him. But by the way, when Anthony came on, disgusting as well. Him and Bruno completely lost their heads, just trying to get sent off. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, you're harming your teammates. Forget anything else. Forget the fans. Forget the manager. Your own teammates that you're riding out for on the pitch. You're just trying to get sent off. You just come on to the game. Even Bruno Fernandes, he was begging for a red card there. That's not good enough. As a captain as well, that's not good enough. I don't know what else to say for the match roundup, to be honest. It's just the spirit in the dressing room is really worrying. How we are so willing to concede that a game is done once we go down at least by 1 goal even. We're so ready and willing to give up on the game in the Manchester derby is absolutely pathetic. And honestly, humiliating as a fan is humiliating. That second half, I felt so flat. We shouldn't be feeling like this. There needs to be more optimism. And you guys know me, I'm one of the most optimistic United fans there are. And even I've gone flat now. The spirit of that dressing room is so wrong. And we're ruining players. Like, constantly, new players are coming in. They're meant to be phenomenal, outstanding, attacking players even. And we're ruining them. Look what has happened to Mount. I didn't even see what my man did in that second half. I saw him run around a little, but what else did Mount do? And I'm not even blaming him, because what was his position? Was he right wing? Was he centre attack mid? Was he centre mid? One of the centre mids? Get in the comments, please, and let me know what position was Mount playing, because I honestly don't know. New players are coming into the club. We're ruining the confidence. I don't know. There's the Glazers coming out of it. Like, starting from getting rid of the Glazers, working your way down from the top. Things need to be changed and eradicated and cleaned up, because it's just not good enough at the moment. And we're not gonna honour challenge for the big honours and the big trophies at this rate, which is a shame, because I think Ten Hag is the right manager for that. But is he even going to get the patience and time from the fans? Yeah, that's the match roundup pretty much. I don't even know who the best player in our team was. Maybe Højlund, in my opinion. Looking ahead, we've got Newcastle in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I think Wednesday. I'm going to that game. Watch out for the vlog on that one. And I'm hoping he plays a rotated side. The last time we played in the Carabao Cup against Crystal Palace, we played a rotated side. We played probably the best game of football we played this season so far, was that rotated side. So hopefully he does the same thing again on Wednesday. Certain players need dropping. Even if you have to drop Onana, get by in there, give him a chance. Because even Onana's handling and he's not been top. And the last few games he's been better, to be honest. But even today, that first half, I wasn't impressed, to be honest. Give Bayindir an opportunity. Get Garnacho starting. Give Palestri a run out if you have to, man. I just want to see more determination and spirit to actually win a game and to try and attack as well, man. We're Manchester United. We should be singing attack, attack, attack every single game, and we're not seeing that. Getting dominated at home. Yeah, so we got Fulham in the league next week. I think away from home, and I'm going to the Fulham game with zero confidence. I honestly think we'll probably lose to Fulham, which is absolutely shambolic. To bring me down like this, you guys know I'm so positive. To bring me down like this is a real shame on the club, to be honest. Anyway, get in the comments. Let me know, what did you think of the game? Have I analysed it properly? Have you still got any hope in this Man United team this season? Because I'm really losing it fast. Get in the comments. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. Watch out for the vlogs coming out. Watch out for the FPL video coming out maybe today or tomorrow as well. See you on the next one. Peace out. Between the lines.